Hello everyone and welcome back to Pokemon. Today we are talking about Lapras, which is a beautiful Pokemon. It's a water ice type. It's known mostly for ferrying people across the sea, but it's also very good at singing calming melodies. And today we're just going to play Lapras levels because you've already seen me in the Cafe Remix on Lapras because it happened in that big update as well, which was amazing. I'm just going to chat to you about Lapras because it is our friend George's favourite Pokemon. Her collection of it is insane. It's so cool. Her binder is so full of Laprases. They are absolutely stunning. So let's get on to Lapras facts. We know it's an intelligent Pokemon, and it's very serene. It has this almost ethereal nature, with a deep lore actually that goes across a lot of generations, but we'll talk about that in a minute. First we're going to go through some basic info. So it's number 131 in the Pokedex, which puts it quite high up in the first gen. We do see the team with it quite a few times, and in the movies, particularly Mewtwo Strikes Back. It's a water ice type Pokemon, which is very, very cool. Obviously when I say what type it is, we mean in the TCG and the anime, because things like Pocket, it's only water, or at least for now it's only water because those don't have as many typings yet. Now height wise, it's quite a tall Pokemon. It's 2.5 meters, which is around 8 foot. And yeah, 8 foot and 2 inches. So it's a couple of feet higher than my ceiling here. So pretty big, but I guess to be a transport Pokemon you need to be. And the average one is about 220 kilograms, which is roughly around 485 pounds. So this is a big boy or girl. And it's, you know, it helps with buoyancy. I guess kind of like a whale in that sort of way. But it is actually more like a plesiosaur, which is a long-necked dinosaur that has some spines ears. So that's kind of cool that it's based on that. A lot of Pokemon are based on real-life animals or extinct animals or even mythical lore. It's very, very cool. Though the plesiosaur does not have a shell on its back, but you know, artistic license, and this is a Lapras after all. It's a Pokemon, not our world creature, unfortunately, or I would be so happy to see them. So, one thing about Laprases actually is that they are amphibious. They don't actually live purely underwater. They can walk on land, which is why they have those sort of draggable flipper things. So if they were real creatures, they would be like the plesiosaur, with its long neck and able to come onto land to do a bit of hunting. And that was a massive asset back in dinosaur times because of how climate's changed and sizings, and you know, being in the water, a lot of things got a lot bigger than that. 2.5 meters like a Lapras would not have been sufficient. To put that in perspective, a Megalodon could have opened its mouth and not have to bite to eat a Lapras. So yeah, pretty small background, but pretty big to us because the world has cooled down significantly. So, abilities-wise, it has Hydration, which is actually a hidden ability where it can cure stasis and rain, which is kind of cool. Obviously it's running off that water type and the whole mythological thing of water being refreshing and cleansing. Obviously that's why in the Christian church and I think a few other religions, smaller sects of them anyway, water is used for baptisms and healing. And obviously we all need water to live, so that helps. Speaking of water, it can do water absorb. So again, it heals when it's hit by water type moves, which can be very useful, especially in competitive play if you want something like... Ooh, I don't know, maybe Pokemon Go in a gym? I don't think I've had a battle with a Lapras I didn't know. Apart from... No, I've only been on hard games. shell armor which you can get on a crit hit. So this is the tank of Pokemon Sea creatures. I know Gyarados is arguably up there as well, but for me, Lapras sort of tactically outranks that. You'll have to let me know your thoughts. So, we've talked about the design inspiration, but let's talk about its role in Pokemon. Obviously, it's known to ferry people across the water because it has a gentle nature, but that does make it vulnerable to poaching, and that's why they are near extinction, which is really sad. Again, it comes back to it won't be Jurassic, it will be Paleo. I can't remember which era, but basically in the dinosaur times, or after the dinosaurs actually, between dinosaurs, and people are then crossing into people, because as far as I know they didn't cross over much, if at all, but it reminds me of dodos, because dodos were so friendly that people could literally pick them up and put them in a pot and cook them, so that led to their extinction. So that is why Lapras is so rare to see, but also so protected, so I guess it has the positivity of people having a respect for it and trying to keep it around and realising how important it is. These are highly intelligent and empathetic, and they can understand human speech, which is interesting. A lot of Pokemon can take commands, but we generally assume that they understand us. I would guess that most of them understand us in the way that a cat or a dog does, with certain mannerisms, the odd word and body language, but by its Pokedex entries, you can actually tell that Lapras can understand human speech properly, so it can help avoid conflict when necessarily needed. Yeah, so it can calm rough seas as well, so it's not the only thing it can calm. They sing melodies or call out to others of their kind. That bit always reminds me, weirdly, because it's more of an aggression type episode, but of the Bulbasaur one, when they go to the forest where the Bulbasaur is meant to evolve and it doesn't want to because it is. A lot of Pokemon can call to their own kind. I guess for being a water-ice type, it also links to things like dolphins. Dugongs, they have extra sensory abilities. I guess the whales do, I'm not sure. But yeah, in-game highlights, it has a gigantic Maxwell, which is really cool. You can get that in Sword and Shield. That has the exclusive move G-Max and Resonance, which is really cool. It sets up Aurora Veil for team-wide defense, and really useful. Again, showing just how compassionate and understanding a Lapras is. It will work for the whole team's protection and win rather than its own. Its catch rate, yeah, it's not great. It's about 5.9% with a Pokeball at full HP. But it has got an EV yield of 2 HP, which is great for counter builds. And it's usually found, weirdly, in polar areas, which you'd expect, but also tropical seas. It's actually established in the anime that they have seasonal migrations to warmer waters, which the plesiosaurs also did, from what we can gather anyway. It's a very, very close match, which I think is really awesome, but I'm a bit biased because I love dinosaurs. Random couple of bits of trivia for you. It was iconic because it's all in the anime, but it wasn't always played as much originally. It was quite a hard bit to play at the time of it first coming out. Obviously, it's associated with peaceful travel, emotional depth, and environmental themes, which might also be why it's the colour it is, because travellers are encouraged to carry a pale blue tourmaline or a lapis lazuli, which is a dark blue with them, in occult lore for travel and protection. It's also, sadly, described as lonely in some of the objects entries, which adds to the emotional weight. Also, it's why it can sing for others of its kind, so it could be a lesson there in, well, animal protection which is kind of ironic because me and George are both vegan and we're both vegetarians, and we absolutely love our animals, so maybe we're just naturally in tune with a Lapras. Probably because we are a little bit antisocial and like to stick with our tight little circle of great friends too. But yeah, so maybe we are Laprases in the flesh. I like to think so anyway. The last thing I think I should tell you, which really interested me, is in Japan, in certain areas, they actually have Pokemon training covers, and it's a collectible thing. And there is a Lapras one that you can go and see. I first saw it on Charmeleon's channel. She's so cool. If you like Pokemon or Japanese stuff, and then Charlotte. The channels are Charlotte in Japan and Charmeleon, I think. But you'll find her whatever you search with. If you put in Canadian in Japan or Tokyo apartment in Japan, she usually comes up. Her channel's amazing. She loves Lapras too. And when they are on these drain covers, you can actually go to little stands near them. And they're not manned or anything, but there are stamps there. You can stamp your book like a travel guide, and you can get a little Lapras printed in as long as you visited that specific spot. Obviously Japan's a bit different to a lot of countries. It's totally safe to leave it there, no one's stolen it, which is great and is the way it should be. Yeah, you just walk up, you view the cool little drain, you get it in your stamp book and you can collect lots of different Pokemon at lots of different places, so the lonely little Lapras doesn't have to be so lonely anymore. Anyway, thank you for joining us for today's entry of Poketober. Things are going to be a little bit wild from here on in. We have so much going on, like so much of our equipment broken. We have family issues, unfortunately. Daz's dad is in the hospital. I had a fall on his cruise. Our equipment's broken. We just had to order more meds for our oldest boy because he has a pyro problem. It is manic, it is chaos, it is a challenge, and we love to outdo a challenge, so you will be getting Poketober. It will mostly be from me, I think. Hopefully Daz can be around a bit, but if not, you'll stick with me, and he will be back for something very cool we are doing in December. Obviously he'll be back before then, but he has the expertise I don't for something we're doing in December. Until then, we're still releasing a Pokemon video for every day of the month. Obviously we missed one when I damaged my coccyx and couldn't even sit on blankets. But we've added that back in now, we are caught up, we are really sorry about that. And thank you for joining us, and thank you for your continued support. And thank you, Georgia, for being awesome and giving me makeup inspiration. We will see you all in the next one. Peace!